What's up, world, and welcome back to another episode of Mix and Chat. I'm your boy JaVie, here with my boys D-Lo.
Yo, what's up?
And Cha-Cha.
What up, what up, what up?
Y'all ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it. All right, so welcome back, y'all, and let's get right into it. D-Lo, how you feeling?
Pretty tired. I just got off a 10-hour work shift, so
Ooh-wee.
literally just got off a 10-hour work shift. So
Got one job, man. See?
But other than that, I'm good. We're gonna keep it going with on the episode, so I'm good.
All right, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
What about you, Unc?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good. I was busy last week, but I'm back in the game, you know. But a nice little quiet New Year, Christmas. I rested up from being in Vegas, you know. So yeah, I was in Vegas. I got back Christmas Eve. So
How was Vegas?
They got me, but they switched the blackjack table. It's a long story. We might have to close on that one. But yeah, man, they be changing up them dealers. You gotta walk away, people. When you up and they change the dealer, walk away. I'm telling you,
the house will always win.
You be feeling yourself. I'm invincible. Womp womp womp. Yeah. So I'm feeling good though. It's good to be back, guys.
That's what's up. Well, I'm feeling good. I applied for another job, so hopefully I can get that. If not, no hard feelings. At least let them know that I do want to move up.
Right.
But I feel pretty confident about it, but I'm feeling good. I think this episode's going to be a great episode. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
So when we come back, we'll get right into it. So the Supreme Court has agreed to hear the challenge to the TikTok ban on January the 10th.
Did they?
Yeah. Okay. I was surprised though, because I thought that it was kind of like a done deal. Like either y'all gonna sell or it's gonna be over. So when they were like, yeah, we're gonna hear it.
No, I honestly knew it wasn't gonna be no done deal because you got like Trump won his campaign over it, with it.
Yeah.
People do so much with it that by now it's hard to take away because it does so much.
Right.
So I think they're gonna leave the door
open.
A
lot of money that would be.
Yeah.
There.
So I think they'll still leave the door open on, hey, you gotta sell it to an American company, or he'll probably tax them really high. You know what I mean? He'll tax whatever
tariffs.
Whatever
He's
comes.
A tariff king, ain't he?
Whatever comes from the TikTok store will be more taxed.
Oh,
gotcha.
Or anything that you buy will be more taxed
because the United States needs they cut.
Yeah.
So the Supreme Court is going to hear them out.
Yeah.
I wonder what did it say? What the grounds were to hear them out, or did they?
TikTok feels like it's a lose-lose situation. Like there's no way they can win because if they're forced to sell, China's not going to allow them to sell.
Oh.
So they're going to lose being in I was going to say Kentucky, in the United States. Right. Regardless, China's not going to allow them to sell to an American company.
Right.
So that's their grounds for asking for it to not happen.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to hear what happens with that. Yeah. Also, Jon Bon Jovi last year on September the 11th was walking on a bridge with, I don't know who this lady was. I'm sure it wasn't his wife, but he was walking with the lady, and they noticed that a woman was on the other side of the railing on this bridge. The John Siegenthaler, I can't say the last name. It's a weird last name. I'm not that tongue twisted. It's a pedestrian bridge, and she was on the outside of the railing about to jump, and they went over and pulled her back off the ledge, and there's a video of it.
And it was Bon Jovi?
Yeah. Jon
Bon
Jovi.
So she was living on a prayer.
I never even thought forgot about that.
I spit hot fire.
I was like,
Yes.
I
Come
was
on,
like,
fire.
boy.
I spit hot fire. You
I
want
was
some of
like,
this
boy,
hot
that's
fire?
his shit right there.
Yeah. See, boy.
That's his
Hey, man,
stuff right there.
You're
That's
supposed to, hey.
Yeah, there's
See,
a video too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be the name of this episode, Living on a Prayer.
Yeah, D-Lo exposed me out there.
There you go.
You might, I'll ride to some Bon Jovi. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, he already knew. He couldn't wait.
the video footage shows them sitting there talking for a little second, and then it kind of like clips, and the girl's turning around and kind of like going towards the lady that's with Jon Bon Jovi, and then she's like hugging the girl, and Jon Bon Jovi comes around the woman and kind of like puts his hand over and kind of helps her come over. He doesn't like yank her over, like get over here. He just helps her guide herself back over. Yeah. So I thought that was really awesome. Yeah. Another thing that happened in the last week was President Biden commuted the sentence of 37 of 40 death row inmates to a life sentence without the possibility of parole. So they get to live, they just don't get to live free.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, you know, they should have been still on death row for the murders they committed, which I don't really know what they did, so I'm not really going to speak on what they actually did. But it's not like he's pardoned them to set them free.
Yeah, he's not letting them out.
Like,
he's just like they're. I guess what they did, he doesn't feel like deserved like the death penalty. Yeah.
Right.
Also, speaking of somebody that deserves the death penalty, Luigi Mangione, the United Healthcare CEO's assassin.
Well,
he pled not guilty to his charges in New York.
Suspect. He's still a suspect at this time, innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah. And also the prosecutors dropped the charges in the appeal that was challenging the dismissal of the Rust manslaughter with Alec Baldwin. The actor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they dropped the charges on him.
Which, he can't really... that was a prop gun.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a prop gun. So,
and it was a real gun. So
yeah. But it was supposed to be... In his mind, it was supposed to be a prop gun. He didn't know.
He didn't know.
But I wanted to see... I'm actually going to look to see if somebody actually went to jail for the charges.
Well, if that's the case, if they're going,
it'll be the person that set the gun down.
And it's funny that it's Alec Baldwin because they didn't arrest the person that shot. What was his name?
You talking about
Brandon Lee on The Crow. The original Crow. That's how he died. It was supposed to be a prop gun, but a shrapnel came out of the gun and hit him.
Wow. I never knew that.
Yeah, that's how he died. He died making The Crow.
That's why somebody said something like that or something, and I always look at The Crow differently now.
Yeah,
just like the how the whole ambience is. It's like, oh my god, this man was like pretty much playing into his death. But yeah, he pled not guilty. Those charges were dropped. I'm still thinking about Luigi. I can't believe he pled not guilty. That's crazy to me.
And see, now was that case with Baldwin? Was that a civil suit or was that criminal charges?
That was like
because I feel like somebody was suing him too for
the wrongful death or something like that.
Yeah. But is this what you're telling us? Is that
he's found not guilty
of the criminal charge? Yeah,
the criminal charges. Yeah, they dropped those manslaughter charges. It was a manslaughter case.
Yeah. And that's a lot to take in, especially when you have a crew that handles, that stuff.
Yeah.
The equipment, stage material and all of that. You have somebody that takes care of all of that. So if you've done all of these shows, all of these episodes, all of these seasons, after a while there's a certain trust that's created. So when they hand you something, then that's what it is.
You automatically assume it without even.
That's what it is.
Honestly, that should have fell back on the prop people, or that person that does the final check on everything, make sure it's ready. That's what they should have done.
That's why I wanted to do a little more research. This is just what I found out.
How did that get mixed in? If it was supposed to be a prop, it was supposed to be a prop.
Or who it was that actually put the gun down there, or who the gun belonged to.
Right.
Are those people being prosecuted, or have they been? Was he just one of the people on multiple person case? You know what I'm saying? Is he a part of the case like that? But also, In other news, as far as presidents, since we talked about Joe Biden, President Clinton was hospitalized after developing a fever.
Yeah,
that's just something that I saw.
Yeah.
I wanted to do because I know that this was like maybe a week or two ago, so I wanted to see if he's actually out now. I wanted to check and see if he was out. But yeah, that's something that happened.
And he's gotta watch himself because he had that heart surgery, that bypass.
Yeah.
That took a lot out of him. So
Yep.
he
Like he moves different now. You can tell.
And that's the thing about it when you have especially if it's triple bypass, they open you up and set your heart out on the table.
Yeah.
And then clean out your valves. They and I don't know how they keep you alive, but I do know they remove your heart from your chest, and then they have to clean the valves. That's what that's why it's a triple bypass. They don't, then they put it back in.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll take it out. They gotta clean.
Come
the
on,
valves.
they made him heartless for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in other news, as far as presidents go, Jimmy Carter passed at 100.
Yeah.
He's 100.
Yeah.
That's a great life.
And
he was the 39th president.
Yeah, and he was he's respected. He's well respected. I believe he was he did a lot of work in his church, Sunday school, like a youth Sunday school teacher or something like that. But he was a very humble man. He was more of a regular person. Like he was very reachable.
Well, and he was one of those people that he would spend his time like a lot of other people are like spending their time like playing golf and stuff. He would be on the farm. Like he had a farm he owned.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So he was he would be on the farm working.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was, and I was just going to say that he was like a regular blue collar person.
He's what gave the Democrats the impression of the blue collar party.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was a
that's
peanut.
nice.
He was a peanut farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to the Carter family.
Yes. Condolences go out to you all.
condolences.
39th president of the United States lived to be 100 years old. That's awesome.
And did you watch Claim to Fame?
When? There's a new one?
No, the last season.
Yeah.
What is that?
No, it's Grant. So Claim to Fame is a show that so these relatives will go on there, right? And everybody's got to guess who each other's relative is.
Okay.
And if the last one that's standing, that they never guess who the relative is, wins. They had Whoopi Goldberg's daughter on there, and you can tell she was related to Whoopi Goldberg. But they had Simone Biles' sister on there. Of course, they kept that one in their back pocket. It was like, we know who you are.
Right. Right.
So, but they the last season had Jimmy Carter's grandson on there.
Oh.
Yeah. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. Who streams that?
It's on ABC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah.
And
I knew that was gonna bring it to the light.
But in other news, as far as deaths, we gotta put it out there. Ricky Hendrix. I mean, why do I keep doing that?
You can't make this up. We've been trying to save this
Ricky
man.
Henderson.
We've been trying to save him.
Ricky Henderson.
Just keep thinking about Jimi Hendrix for some reason.
I don't
It's
know.
gotta be.
I think it's the Jimmy Carter that throws me off because I always think Jimmy Carter and then go into Ricky Hendrix.
Henderson. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
Take 3.
Ricky Henderson, the MLB's all-time stolen base leader and Hall of Famer, died at 65.
Yeah. He was different on him. He was different. He was different when it came to running them bases. He was different, and he earned that. He earned the base stealing. He
must have stole
that.
every base he got to.
I'm gonna tell you, when he got to first base,
he wasn't there long.
The pitchers would have to throw to the plate to throw to first base to try to keep him close, because he was a guy that he'd get away from the base, then take 2 more steps away from the base, and as soon as that pitcher got into his wind up, he was out. And then, which is very rare, he's gonna steal third too. He's gonna, if the pitcher once he's still second, he's gonna brush himself off, and then he's gonna pick his spot. He's gonna probably wait for one of them wind-ups where it's got to be a slow pitch, like a slider or a curve, because it takes longer to get to the catcher. So you can kind of tell what type of pitch a pitcher's going to throw if you watch him, his arm motion and all of that. So
really?
Especially going from second to third, and that's why you see some pitchers try to anticipate when a person is going to steal. They'll throw a fastball, but they'll intentionally throw it outside for their catcher, but they're going to throw it really fast so he can get to the catcher so he can try to throw him out. And now you got a man going from second to third, so the catcher has got an easier shot, because he's
that's why you'll see a lot of them, they pitch with their hand in their glove, because you can see like hand movements to where if it's going to be a fastball, they holding
the ball,
or a curveball.
Yeah, you can tell if it's going to be So
they be holding it like that.
No, they might. It might be like that.
Like this,
or like that. Yeah,
okay.
Or like that. Yeah.
Depending on how you're holding it, it could be a fastball, curveball.
Okay.
So that's why you see a lot of them pitch.
See, I did Little League, and I don't remember nothing about it.
Well, it's pretty.
See, I watched baseball when I was
Little League is, if you got a pitcher that can throw a curve in Little League, he's the one that's gonna get you out of the hood.
Yeah. See, I grew up in the Sammy Sosa and the Mark McGwire.
Me too.
So that's when.
Man, me too.
That's when I watched baseball. I wasn't really too much of a baseball fan.
Yeah.
I was Big Red Machine. But anyway, let me ask you this, D-Lo, because on another note, switching paces, we're gonna go from this to the NFL. Eli. Eli Manning, one of the nominees, finalists for the Hall of Fame. There's been a lot of. And this has been going on for years since he retired. This has been going on for years. Is he a Hall of Famer? Or a first ballot, even a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I thought he was already a Hall of Famer.
No, because I remember the debate. Because you got two people. You got like two different types of people. It's kind of like right now in the NBA world where they have LeBron and Jordan, the GOAT debate.
Oh yeah.
And now people are having, is Elon better than
Trump?
Is Eli better than
Roethlisberger,
Brady?
Because he'll
listen to me. I didn't.
He won't be in the GOAT conversation. He won't be in the GOAT conversation because he didn't win enough in the regular season. They missed the playoffs a lot on his watch, and not only that, they were wild cards.
Mm-hmm.
They 9-7. It's when they was playing 16 games. They 9-7. They might get in at 7-9 if it's a down. If that whole division is a down year. I believe one year they got in at 7-9, 7 wins and 9 losses.
Yeah.
So he's not the GOAT because his performance level during the regular season throughout his career was subpar.
Yeah.
But he has the numbers.
Yeah. I do believe he should be a Hall of Famer at least.
Ooh, so you are. Yeah, so that's
Come on,
I was assuming
speak it true.
because I saw something about it and they were kind of like some people say that he deserved it and then others say that his team carried him. Is that where you're torn?
Well, no, I'm not even going to say the team carried him because if they say the team carried him, they would have to. It would be mainly the defense. But I grew up in a time where when you was a Hall of Famer, it wasn't always about stats only. It was also stats and how you impacted the game. You stood out.
Yeah.
And the only time he impacted the game
is when they said his name.
When the 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
The 2 Super Bowls. I mean, and he did that because he beat Tom Brady twice.
So who was it that had the flat ball?
The what?
The flat football.
Oh, you talking about Tom Brady?
That was Tom Brady.
Okay,
and that's supposed to be the GOAT.
No. Okay.
Yeah, but Eli beat him
twice
in the Super he beat. So Brady's got 6 Super Bowl wins. He's 6-2.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I believe so.
6-2. No. He's 6-3 because the Eagles beat him.
Oh,
too.
Yep.
Nick
He's
Foles
6-3. Yeah.
When Carson Wentz got hurt,
Yeah.
so I know that he's lost 3.
Yeah. So 2 of his 3 losses is from
Eli. Yeah. So he's 6-3.
So he don't want that business no more.
It was how he won. You'd have to see the catches that they had a last second drive, and he threw one. They were about to tackle him, and they grabbed the defensive lineman grabbed Eli's jersey and was ready to sack him, and he somehow spun around, pulled away, stumbled, and rolled out to his left. And he's a right-handed quarterback, so he had to throw back against his body because he's going this way. He's going to his left. So he's got to turn, and he threw it to his receiver, and his receiver went up and caught it with the tip of his fingers.
Oh, wow.
And put it up against his helmet. And it stayed there. The defender grabbed him, tackled him, and the ball stayed right there on his helmet. And that saved the drive. And they got him in the field goal range. And then the second
love the demonstration you just did, by the way. Like, you just made that all visual.
You got to know.
Yeah.
That's why when I be talking to you about basketball, I be doing what I be showing.
I want you to feel the moment. I want you to feel the moment because those are the things that they consider him Hall of Fame worthy because he was clutch when it mattered.
Gotcha.
And he did the same thing to them in his second Super Bowl win, except it wasn't that same caliber, but it was a make or break play, and he threw it to his man to the sideline. It was an amazing catch.
So now that you've had all that excitement and demonstrating and everything, do you feel like he deserves Hall of Fame?
Right.
See how I did that?
You know what?
It's true though.
I did sound like I was. Yes. I should be leaning towards. Yes. But what I'm saying is that's why a lot of people say that he is because he was clutch when it mattered the most.
Yeah.
And so his regular season he was average for most of his career, and he was the MVP. Okay. So he's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
He's indifferent. He can see go. He be alright with either one. If he gets the Hall of Fame, he's cool. If not, he's not gonna make a big deal.
The regular season matters. It matters to me how you did your career.
So, do you think somebody else is deserving of it over him? Would you have picked somebody else to be that finalist?
Another quarterback.
Yeah, or anybody you feel like deserves the Hall of Fame. Because are all the Hall of Famers quarterbacks?
It's every position.
So do you think that they should have given somebody else that final spot over him?
Yes, and we were just talking about them.
But I think right now it's just they're doing it because he's everywhere right now.
If I say this name
after he retired, he's on every commercial. He's
Mark Gastineau. He's not in, but Joe Klecko. I just seen a little documentary on. They got a 30 for 30 document, the New York Sack Exchange.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't like each other, man. No. But it's a good documentary. America, if you have ESPN Plus or streaming app of some sort that allow you to catch 30 for 30, watch that. It's about the New York Sack Exchange. The New York Jets had a 4-man front that did their thing, and one of them, Joe Klecko, he made the Hall of Fame, but Mark Gastineau, he's not in, and he was just as good and got record number of sacks for a season before it was broken by Strahan. Strahan broke his record, single season sack record.
What is that name?
Michael Strahan. He's on the ABC. He was he was a New York Giants. He's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
He's got the gap in his team.
Oh yeah, he's an NFL defense. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. He's got that morning show.
Yeah. He broke Mark Gastineau set the single season sack record, and Michael Strahan broke that.
Okay.
And actually, there's a clip of Mark Gastineau calling out Brett Favre. He sacked Brett Favre to break the record. And Brett Favre just went down, and so this is in the 80s, 90s, and the 90s, and so they're at this autograph show, and this happened like last year or maybe 2023. Mark Gastineau was like, "You owe me," and Brett Favre thought he was playing at first, but he was like, "You took that away from me. I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna get it back. What you gonna do?" And so what the PR person for Brett Favre was like, okay, it's time to go on back to our. Let's go back to our booth because he's on one right now. He was serious,
playing, but he ain't.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow!
It's a good watch. It's on 30 for 30. It's called the New York Sack Exchange. So to your question, Mark Gastineau, why is he not in there? That's that. So if I was to put somebody in, I would definitely put him in.
Okay. Well, I don't know who he is because I don't watch sports. But Mark Gastineau, Cha feels like you should be up there instead of who's up there. Mm-hmm. So, well, speaking of sports. When we come back, we're going to let D-Lo take over and dive deeper into sports. So, we'll see you in a second.
A lot of college stuff.
Come on, college.
All right.
All right, welcome back. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on in college games.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
So, first of all, we have the college football playoffs going on.
Okay. I didn't know you were into college football. Are you?
I am. I'm not as big like I am in college basketball or like basketball period. But
do you have like a favorite team in football?
Well, football? Yeah, the Wildcats.
Okay, period.
Yeah,
when you do watch
I'm a full Wildcat fan. Like I support them everywhere.
I was waiting on another team to come out his mouth.
Okay.
I was sitting there waiting like, we gonna know if he's really true blue or BB.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, he said the right thing, America. He said it right. BBN or bust. Big Blue Nation or bust.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
But so we had Ohio State and Oregon playing in the Rose Bowl. Ohio State won.
It wasn't even close.
It wasn't. It was 41-21. So
oh God!
And it's that 21. That was that. Yeah, they
hold
they
on,
was stuck.
Ain't touchdown 6 points, and then the field goal.
But you can go for 2 also. So and then you have 3 points. Then you got field goals. You got field goals. So they was on it. They jumped on them early.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: Oregon beat them earlier this year. So and it was close. It was maybe a 1 point loss. Oregon won by 1. I think maybe
so,
a field goal.
Yeah,
so there was a question mark about Ohio State. Would they be able to win again? And I didn't see the betting line. I don't know who was favored. But I think, but also Oregon is the number 1 team in the country.
So I think Oregon was number 1.
They were undefeated.
Okay.
They were undefeated. They were 13-0, and Ohio State was 11-2, and one of those 2 losses was Oregon. Yeah. So you felt like it was gonna be a good game, but Ohio State.
Oregon just didn't have it that night, man.
They left no prisoners.
And that's the thing about the difference between like and the one thing I don't like about NBA is the whole 4-7 games. Because in NBA, all you gotta have is 4 good games, and you win the series.
Yeah, best out of 7.
Yeah, best out of 7. So all you gotta do is have 4 good games and you win.
Oh wow.
So, but now, I mean, it is complicated to do that, to repeat that 4 times each.
If you're down 3-0.
Yeah, if you're down 3.
If you're down 3-0. And the other team just needs to win 1 more. Now you got to win all 4. You got to win because it's the best out of 7.
Yeah.
But
so if they're up 3-0 and there's only 4 games left, you got to win them all 4 straight. Never been done.
But when but in like college, like in the tournaments and stuff, 1 loss, 1 bad game, you done.
It's a wrap.
Done.
Yeah, and this is a new format. This is new. It's 12 teams. It was a 4-team playoff to the national championship. They extended it to 12 teams.
Oh wow!
And so it's a little flawed, and we can talk about that, in a future.
Oh yeah,
because I think they're going to I think they're still.
But I want to stick to this Ohio State Oregon game. Like I said, it wasn't close. It wasn't close, and. Like I said, Oregon was the number 1 team, and Ohio State left no prisoners. They
at all. They came for revenge.
Yeah,
because they won. They won last.
They felt like they were the better team that day that they lost.
Yeah,
and a couple of mistakes here and there, and they kind of right.
Yeah. So But then you had Alabama got beat by Michigan in their bowl game. And then Texas won, of course. I've seen that.
Oh, that game. Did you see the Texas-Arizona State
No, I
game?
didn't see the Texas-Arizona State game.
Let me tell you. So it went to overtime. And Arizona State got the ball first.
Did they?
And in overtime. But they had to come back. They were down 16. They were down 24-8. And they came back. And I missed all of that. I watched the first quarter and I turned it away and forgot to turn it back on the game. There was something I was just for the commercials, and then I got a call and they would let me know, did you watch the game? I'm like, nah, I'm sure Arizona State got blown out. I'm like, no, it's great going to overtime. I was like, shit. But I turned it, so I got to watch the overtime, long story short.
No.
Arizona State got the ball first and they scored. And they got a 2-point conversion, so they were up by 8, 39-31. They get Texas 4th and 13.
Wow.
Down to one play, and they could get a first down. And I'm watching this play, and I say, "All right, man, whatever you do, safety backer, just don't let the receivers get behind you.
Yeah.
Just don't let them get behind you." 4th and 13. Why did he throw a touchdown? Why did Ewers throw a touchdown? The safety. Oh, it was ugly. And then they went for 2, and so they tied it up in overtime. But in the second overtime, Texas gets the ball first, so they score on the first play, the first or second play. Safety let them. This time it's a tight end on the street. Like, what are you doing back there?
No.
And so they score and they go for 2 and they get the 2. And Arizona State end up throwing an interception to end the game, but they had it. It was right there. And so, and I feel bad for Arizona State because they've been saying that the Big 12 is garbage. Of course, they've been hating on Deion Sanders being in the Big 12, and they say that, his 9-3 or 9-4 now is not worthy because they didn't, their conference is weak. But Kansas State won. Mm-hmm. Iowa State beat Miami. And I forget who Kansas State beat, but it was a good team. And then also, I watched Texas Tech. They almost won, and they put BYU and Colorado against each other. How are you going to put 2 teams in the same conference together? So now Deion, he was in a lose-lose situation. If he beats BYU, they're going to say it doesn't matter because the Big 12 is trash. So he, and then if he lose like he did, I told you he couldn't coach. So I was hoping that they put Colorado in a whole different bowl game with a Power 5, maybe an SEC, that was 6-6 like Vandy.
Right.
The Alamo Bowl. Why not Texas A&M? Texas A&M.
Well, and that's when you got
South Carolina.
Well, and now that you're speaking about the format, you got a lot of teams mad about the format because they have a lot of the smaller teams in there, and they think it's not fair. And then some people just want to they're like, if this is a bowl game, it should be, the best of the best in there.
Right. And so, like Cam said it. Cam said this, America, not me.
Well,
I'm repeating what I heard.
Clear.
Cam was on ESPN, and they were talking about this format before the playoffs started. He said, nobody wants to see Boise State. Nobody wants to see Boise State. Nobody wants to see Arizona State. Nobody wants to see SMU. And nobody wants to see Indiana. Nobody wants to see them. So, they need to, and Boise State, they won the Mountain West.
Yeah.
So now that's a Power 5 since there's no Pac-12.
Right.
But, they didn't play anybody. SMU in the ACC, they didn't win. Oh, nobody wanted to see Clemson. I don't care if you didn't want to see Alabama, you didn't want to see Clemson because Clemson, they lost their last game of the season to South Carolina, and they barely won the ACC. They were not a convincing team, and it showed when they won the ACC, so they got into that's how they got in.
Right.
But they wasn't even ranked. They wasn't even ranked. They were ranked lower than South Carolina, and South Carolina beat them. but South Carolina was 9-3. That's the one thing I think they need to look at. Just because you 9-3 doesn't make you worthy. Now they saying that Alabama would have got in before South Carolina, but if you get some losses early in the season, but you finish strong, 3 losses shouldn't matter. It's how you're looking at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, because Indiana didn't win anything. They lost in the championship to Ohio State, but they really hadn't played anybody in that conference. Mm-hmm. But they put them in anyway because they was 11-1. Same thing for SMU.
Yeah.
So there's some things that's got to change.
So what else is going on, D?
But we're gonna skip over to because right now, Northern Dame they beat Georgia. So
they beat them or they beat them?
They beat them.
Oh.
They literally just won the game.
Oh wow!
So it's crazy. So
seen that, but there was a bunch of players that set out too. That for some I seen it, and I didn't get a chance to research it, but there were like over 10 players that were sitting out for this game, and I don't know why.
In Georgia?
In the Georgia game, yeah. I don't know why they sitting out. It was over 10.
Is it like a boycott or something, or are they just sitting out?
No, I don't know if they got in trouble and there was a punishment.
Oh.
And there's some of them that might be declaring for the NFL draft, so they chose to sit out.
Yeah, because they'll do that. They'll sit out a bowl game and to go for the NFL draft. And honestly, if I was a recruiter for the NFL and I seen that, I'm like, nah, I don't want you.
And then some of them might have said they're going through the transfer portal. I don't know, and just decided that they want to go and get this. I don't know if that can be a factor when you admit that you're going to hit the transfer portal. I don't know if they, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's multiple reasons I didn't get a chance to research it, or I caught it at the last minute. But yeah, they had over 10 players that were not suited up for the game.
Yeah. So we got also too, Kentucky won their game.
Hey.
So,
UK.
They won their game against Brown, so that's good. They did what they did against small teams.
Mm-hmm. How many points they win by?
34.
Oh, did they?
No.
I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Yeah, they hit.
So 30. I haven't researched it. I still have a DVR in America, but I haven't watched it yet. But I know they won, so I don't mind. D'Lo is not. He's not. This is not a spoiler alert moment.
But they. So that was our last game before conference play. So the next game we got is Florida.
Ooh.
So
11 a.m.
Well,
we gonna see a whole bunch of.
Oh Lord! Oh well.
11 a.m.
We gonna see a whole bunch of orange and blue on campus, ain't we?
Yeah, because it's a home game.
There's some people that don't believe me. We went through this Christmas Eve. We're not gonna his name shall remain anonymous. But UK can go down by 5 points and miss a couple of shots, be down 5-0, and he will walk away. We ain't got it tonight and won't watch the rest of the game. He thinks we had a big debate about how many games we were gonna win this season or how many we was gonna lose. And so I went through the whole SEC and you shall remain nameless, but if we beat Florida, you gonna get this work. Because he counted Florida as a loss, but he's supposed to be a big Blue fan.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm not really like down hope on the team. But I'm keeping my optimistic up. I think this will be good.
I feel like we've exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
I feel like we have.
Well, I think if we beat Arkansas, we'll exceed the expectations. Because everybody wants to beat Arkansas just because the whole Calipari thing. So right now they're hitting my expectations because there was 3 teams I was wanting them to beat: Duke, Louisville, and Arkansas.
We got it, yeah.
So we got Arkansas left.
Yeah, with the Triple Crown, we just got Triple Crown.
That's the most anticipated game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next to Louisville. Yeah, that's more anticipated than Duke.
Yeah.
But like I said, when Mark Pope took this job, he had not one player.
Yeah.
They hit the portal or they declared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had 0 players. So there were a lot of there were a lot of BBN fans, so called, that didn't like the fact that Cal was gone. So they wished the worst on us. Take your ass to Arkansas. Take your ass to Arkansas, and don't you never come back.
Well, that and they kept like, well, who's going to be the coach? Like, there's not like a million different coaches, and just so happened we grabbed a hometown hero.
They try to look at his record. He took BYU to the NCAA tournament, but not only that, he went into the Big 12 and beat Kansas twice in his first year, and Baylor.
Other than that, what I said all along was he was already up on Calipari because he won a championship here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're talking about, he didn't have no tournament experience. He won a championship as a player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're sitting on the coach's side.
But he not really on his side because he was a captain. He was the on floor coach.
Okay.
Yeah. So he
has experience.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So other than that, he had experience.
I'm just curious to see how they turn up once we get into the gush.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's what I'm waiting. I'm
waiting.
And it's one of those things that if they do lose in the tournament, they lose in the tournament.
Yeah.
Because it just,
like I said, we've exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna always get recruits because of the name on the jersey, and there were people that kept throwing out the NIL name, image, and likeness. We don't have the NIL. They go into the NIL money. If you get the right players to come in here and play for what's on front of the jersey instead of what's on the back of the jersey, it's going to make a difference. And I stand by that. I stood by it before the season started.
So, and this is the thing too. When people look at NIL money, they're looking at what they're getting from like the donors. Like, the heavy donors. Like, those are the people that supply the NIL money. Yeah. Right? Okay. They're not looking at the deals that they're getting from,
they can do commercials.
Yeah, like right now you got Butler, Carr, and I forget Robinson. Yeah, they're doing a Clark's Pump and Stop commercial.
Yeah.
They get an extra for that.
Yeah.
Period.
That's not, you know what I'm saying? So they're only looking at the lump sum that they're getting from the school. You know what I mean? They're not looking at they're not looking at these other little deals that they're making.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so, and Perry and Noah, they got their little stuff set up at their hometown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's what's up. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I don't got no job, so I'm gonna make some money.
Huh? Get money, but I said, UK is they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be fine. We've exceeded expectations from this point on for me, and I think we're gonna be okay. In the what are we now with that win? We 11-2.
Yeah.
11-2. So we can get in. We can get in with 20 wins because of the type of win. And I can see us beating Alabama. I can see us beating them because you're gonna always be in it because they're a 3-point shooting team, and they're gonna, whether they're hitting or not, they're gonna keep shooting it.
And he's heard me say this before, and people will say it's a cop out answer, but it's not really, because if you think about it, they have the ability to win these games, to win against anybody, but they have the ability to lose against anybody. You know what I mean? Like,
what the hell does that mean?
So they can win.
They do.
What does that mean?
They can win.
They what they know going in?
Like, they can.
Hey, man.
They can.
Oh, time out. Time out.
They can.
You like you say football? I'm throwing a flag on the play.
No, they can win. Like, they have the ability to win.
It's theirs to lose.
But but it's theirs to lose. Like, they can lose it. Like, look what they did against
America.
Look what they did.
We have
Clemson.
a problem.
They could have won against Clemson, but they ended up losing because of stupid mistakes.
Who?
Clemson.
Oh. That was their first true road game.
And then they could have beat.
They could have beat Ohio State.
They could have beat Ohio State,
even with the misses. Yeah. Okay. So.
But they let their mistakes get the best.
I get what you're saying now, but here's what I'm gonna say to counteract that. Them versus how Calipari would do it. So they're down against Clemson and they're down against Ohio State and they have a chance to win, but they don't take advantage.
Right.
They don't take advantage. Those two games.
Yeah.
With Calipari, you got there for 4 or 5 games straight because you see what they did against. No. Wait a minute, hold on. What I'm saying, so I get what you're saying, I get what you're saying, but even in thinking that, I still feel good because that's still few and far between compared to who we were last year. We lost a lot more games like that because of the lack of experience with the freshmen. Yes, with the and plus the well, and I can say that, but then there was a part where you would ask, even he would ask, why did you do that?
Yeah,
I told you to do this and you did that. The freshman mistakes.
Yeah,
you don't see that a lot here because we got more experienced players, so a lot of opportunities that we have to lose the game, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Now I agree with you, but I still feel good about how we're able to be better about that than we have in the past.
Like that was a knock on the team. I was one of the full supporters of Pope coming in, and I'm still a full supporter of Pope.
Good.
You know what I mean? Like he's
just getting started.
And plus, what I like about him is he actually coaches, and you can see him grow his mentality each game.
Good.
You know what I mean? So
that's what it's about.
I just wish he run more zone.
Maybe he'll hear the voice of the people.
It's his first year, man.
Yeah.
His first year.
So,
that's
and
why I say just how he's coached in these few 13 games, recruits are looking at us like this might be the place for me to they got free reign here to do them.
Right.
That, and I wish more of the players would play more inside than out on the perimeter.
Yeah. Carr, and see that game against Ohio State, I wish Carr would have went to the post more.
Yeah, well, see,
he settled for the three, but he was open
in the Brown game. Not spoiler alert on you or anything.
No, really?
I know the listeners are like, "Where is JaVie? He is not talking at all." I don't know what the heck is going on, y'all.
Cutting
I'm just sitting back here listening.
He's over here taking a snooze. Eating these hot fries.
My brain is so flustered right now.
But so in the Brown game you had and this is what I was waiting to see though, was I was waiting to see Amari and Carr switch. You know what I mean? Where Carr will leak out, but Amari would go inside. And that's what they end up doing. And I was been waiting for that, and I'm like, I wonder if he's ever gonna, get them to do that. And they actually did, and it worked.
Yeah. So Carr is versatile, man, and he's got a high IQ, man. I like his game, man. He sees the court well. He
is, but Amari's not. Amari's one of those people you want to put down at the block and be like, look, do whatever you do down here in the paint. Yeah, don't leak out.
Because he thinks he's a point guard when he does that, man. I'm like, come on, man.
So you got to put him down on the block. Right. Kind of switching up to where he can get up there and make a pass and cut down to the basket. You know what I mean?
Now, you're talking about Williams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody might not know his first name.
Oh, yeah. Williams. Amari Williams.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah.
Don't worry, America. I got you.
I still don't know it. He just told me the whole name.
Trust me, he's a left-hander. He's a 4. He's a 4/5 center or guard. I mean center.
He's one of them people on that wall right there.
But he thinks he's a guard. He thinks he's a guard.
And with him being left-handed, he can be dangerous down in the paint.
Oh my God.
Which one is he?
Number 22 right
here.
Okay.
Like the
tallest one on the team.
Yeah. Him and Carr is probably about the same height. But Carr is a little more versatile.
Yeah, he's versatile. Yeah.
So
he's got better touch around that basket too. He can do it. He's gonna. Yeah, I trust him with the ball more than I trust Williams.
Yeah, but like I said, with him being
Williams throw it up like he's trying to create a terrorist act against the backboard. Oh my gosh, he throws it up there with no touch. He's one of the guys that when he does a jump hook, the ball will die between the backboard and where the rim come together. It won't even ricochet. It just boom and just stop and then roll in.
Oh God,
it's terrible.
He throws the basketball like Eli did that pass that Cha was talking about.
Just throw it up there and hope for the best. Oh my gosh.
So,
it's horrible when he misses. Don't even start it on him.
But
I like him down in that paint when he decides to take over. He'll get your offensive rebound and he'll use the square, or you'll be yelling at the TV. Use the square. Do you know what the square is, JaVie?
I don't.
Oh, I knew it. Okay, so America, I'm gonna bring JaVie in.
The line?
No, on the backboard.
Oh yeah, I know what
the
you're
square.
talking
So
about.
you know the purpose is if you hit the center of that backboard just right, it's gonna bank into it. So if you're right there at point blank range, why are you shooting it over the rim when you got a square right there, or why are you shooting it outside of the square? If you shoot, if you're shooting a bank shot,
you should know how to touch a
yeah,
square.
and you're 6'10", hit the square, hit the square, boom, hit the center of the square. It shouldn't land on the outside of the square. It shouldn't land on the top of the square or the other outside of the square. And it definitely shouldn't go over the rim. The square that's what it's for. Use it. Just use it. Yeah. So you hear me a lot. Yeah. Hit the square.
That's what you be doing.
Hit the square. Hit the square.
So if y'all ever at B-Dubs on a game day and y'all hear somebody hit the square, that's cha-cha.
That's cha-cha, boy. That's basic fundamentals. Hit the square.
And if you see cha-cha, you will probably see D-Lo with him.
He's going to stay quiet until, maybe today he might say, like, hit the post. Why are you shooting threes? You might hear him say that.
That is one thing. So when we watch football, all right, I'm a little quieter because I'm still learning the game. I don't know like Cha-Cha does.
I'll break it down for him. I'm his.
I don't want to watch sports with neither one of y'all.
But when it comes to basketball and it comes about a team I'm passionate with, I'm a lot louder. I be yelling at the
he's yelling out instructions. Says what I'm talking about. Why don't he switch them? Like he's talking about Carr and Williams. Yeah. Why won't he switch him? Yeah, he will. He'll come in and come out. See, that's what I'm talking about. He still won't switch him. He still come out of a timeout. He still hasn't switched.
Put your hands up.
Yeah. All I want you to do is hit the square. That's all I want. Hit the square. Because that's points.
Hopefully, in time, they will all come together and learn to hit the square.
That's the points. That's points.
And to switch them.
Hey. Well, that and the free throw, some of the free throws in this. I'm really big on about you gotta hit the free throws.
Yeah, it's a freebie.
It's a free shot.
Yeah,
what you missing it for? Ain't nobody in your way.
It's just a freebie.
You know what I mean? You have all the ability to make that shot.
It's a freebie.
That's the one thing you should have down locked.
So you know how many points you miss out because you miss a few free throws?
Yeah, 6+.
Yeah.
8, 9, 10. Yeah, and that makes a difference in the game. You missed 6 free throws, but you lost by 3.
No.
But they're just getting started. They 11-2. They get into where
it's good.
I'm so interested to see how this team grows. Hear about how this team grows because I darn sure don't watch the games. I'm not a big basketball watcher. Football watcher, sports watcher. I watch soccer.
I watch soccer.
I love soccer.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I only watch one team though. I might bring out some stats on that. Probably not, but you might get one every now and then. I'm crazy to see how UK grows over this time and how Pope develops as well as a coach.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we will dive into another topic because Lord, sports took over. I almost fell asleep.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports person.
Hobby's over here cutting lumber, y'all.
Y'all almost heard. Yeah.
It almost came to the D-Lo and Cha-Cha show.
I had to throw a question out there. Do you know what the square? I just back to life, back to reality.
And with that, we will be back in just a second.
Peace.
So welcome back, and y'all, X is really messing with people now. They messing with people's money. And when I say X and they, I mean Elon.
Yeah.
Because you know he owns it.
Formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah. But everybody still calls it Twitter, so X is just crap. I just said it because people are starting to adopt X as, you know what I'm saying, the platform.
Not devil.
But verified accounts are starting to lose their check marks and subscribers. They have to pay for those check marks.
Yeah.
So like you pay the app to have the check mark, and then when you gain subscribers, you earn money. So each subscriber is a certain amount of money that you're getting every month.
So the check mark. So if I'm here, because I don't know anything about X, Twitter, any of that. You know, I try to look at videos and it'll tell me to log in. I'm not interested in creating an account right now. But so the check mark, the being verified. So when you're verified, only if you have the check mark, you're able to earn money. Is that what I mean? If you have followers, then
when you have,
if
the
you're
check
not verified,
mark,
then you can't get paid.
You just have followers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Like, unless you have like an OnlyFans or something like that where you're having them go to earn money, you can be you don't have to be verified.
Okay.
You can have 1 million followers and never get verified.
Yeah.
But people are starting to lose those.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, for the verification, like, a lot of the sports people, like celebrities and personnels have that check mark to verify that's their account. Yeah. You know, cause so they don't.
But
go follow.
You could buy the verified check mark too.
So and so, what are you saying? They're why are they losing?
Well, he's taking them away. It seems like as if he's taking them away from people that have went opposed to what their narrative is, the Trump.
Narrative. It's personal.
Yeah, so he's like the far lefts or people that are like high in like society, like media and that are combating what they're doing. He's taking their subscribers and their verification.
They don't play fair, man. They just they don't. The Republicans don't play fair. They don't play fair.
Yeah, and it's to the point of where like even the people that are on the app that have nothing to do with the verified checks, they're leaving. They're going over to Blue Sky, which is a new app that's very similar. It's if not the same exact thing as Twitter. Originally Twitter. That's what it looks like. But it's a butterfly instead of a bird. Is their logo. A blue butterfly instead of a blue bird. So it's Blue Sky. Blue Sky is the name of it. So I have an account on both, so I kind of go over and look at what's going on over there and what's going on over on Twitter. Yeah. It's Blue Skies over in Blue Sky. Yeah, I like it way better.
I may have to. Just to be able to get content. I may have to do that right now. I'm on the gram right now. That's
where you get good content too.
Yeah.
You get really good content from the gram. You just gotta kind of like make sure that it's legit. Yeah. You got to do that with everything though, because AI is running rampant out here.
Yeah, and actually, California just put in a law to have it to where people can't use these celebrities for their AI videos.
Man.
So.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
It just went into effect today.
Oh, it just started.
Yeah. So they're like anybody cannot create just some an AI generated video with, let's say, Johnny Depp, Beyonce or somebody.
Look, Beyonce on the brain. Huh? I live, eat, and breathe that baby. But also, speaking of X, the Cybertruck.
Yeah. So somebody parked a Cybertruck outside of Trump Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this happening?
In New York, I believe.
Was it New York?
Yeah, because that's where the Trump Hotel is.
No, there's Trump hotels everywhere in Washington D.C. everywhere. But anyways, in front of a Trump hotel.
Yeah, and you can tell it was rigged to blow.
Wait, it blew up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They blew it. They blew it up. They blew it up like.
I thought it just caught on fire. No, up.
Yeah, it blew up.
Because I seen the the picture of it.
And then when they showed a picture of inside the trunk, and inside the trunk it had barrels, it had gasoline cans, like it was rigged to blow.
Oh wow!
And so I believe they're still looking for the suspect on it. And then, of course, you had the stuff that happened in the subway with the lady getting caught on fire.
Yeah, that was so cruel and gruesome. And I don't know how the videos are still floating the internet. Yeah. I really don't. Like, they should have already. But, it's on X, so.
Yeah, and then, it's crazy out here.
Something happened in Vegas.
Yeah.
The Trump explosion was at his hotel in Vegas.
Okay.
His international hotel.
Okay.
But not only that, the suspect.
Is this a suspect for that?
For the explosion of Tesla? I want to go back to that because I've seen some information that
Tesla.
Yeah, he was a soldier. Shot himself in the head before the Cybertruck exploded outside of the Trump.
Oh wow! So he unalived himself. Was that the one that did it?
And that's what, and I'm not sure, but yeah.
But and that's the thing though, because what happened in New Orleans and on New Year's Eve, where the guy drove a truck onto the sidewalk, and he he ran over like 15 people.
Was this a Tesla truck?
No, this is where a pickup truck. But they think it's related because the dude, he had an ISIS flag in the back of the truck, and he was American. Mm-hmm. He was a citizen who served in the military.
Oh,
and with
was
him
he
serving,
a sleeper cell?
And so he
was an ISIS follower.
Yeah, he was. So on his way to New Orleans, he recorded a video talking about ISIS and this, that, and the other. But they believe that this and the Trump hotel was related.
Yeah, they say.
Or are they just trying to put them together?
Well, they both. I think they served in the military together.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the guy the suspect for the New Orleans attack, he was a 100% ISIS follower.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because they killed him, so he was he already knew there was no tomorrow for him. He was not looking to live through this.
And so and then what happened in the subway.
Oh my God.
That
explosion was crazy.
I was and it's so funny because I was thinking about when it said Trump Towers. I'm like, I was just there
of the explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I was just there. Imagine that, man. That whole But he whoever did that was trying to get some attention because
definitely
because he could have drove that vehicle through there and let it explode.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to. He was dead. So
that's the person.
Yeah, so gunshot wound to the head. Yeah, so he shot himself in the head.
And then so with that and the stuff at the subway, the Republicans are having a field day with it, talking about terrorist attack, the immigrants are causing all this mischief and all that.
I think that was his
message too. And that's already been proven to be false. I don't know why Trump would well, I know why. I know why he always wants to throw dirt on the Democratic Party, anything to boost him up, because that keeps people on his team. See, I told you. See, I told you. See, I told you. Man, so. But that's bad business.
But apparently they just said there's no definitive link. So
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know, because it just the way they happened, it just was too coincidental that both these happened at the same time.
Yeah,
what I mean? So, but we'll see. But I mean, what we got going on, Cha-Cha?
Yeah, what you got on first? You got a whole book.
Yeah.
I just been reading. I just been reading up on the inmate Robert Brooks that was transferred from a correctional office to the Marcy Correctional. I forget the name of the place that he was from. That he was at. The Mohawk. That's what it's called. So he was transported from the Mohawk Correctional Facility to the Marcy Correctional Facility, and 14 correctional officers beat him to death, and it happened on December the 9th.
What did he do?
That's what's being investigated. These guys have been doing this for a while. They've got a little team.
Is he like a cop killer or something?
Nah, that's the thing. The only reason why it's getting investigated was because he died. If he doesn't die, it doesn't get investigated. They have to investigate it when there's a death involved.
And it's bad that I asked, what did he do? I feel stupid for asking that question.
Well,
I'm saying, when I say what did he do, I mean as far as the crime
to deserve that. Yeah,
not to deserve that. What would make them so angry to do that? Did he kill a cop or something?
Yeah,
what was his crime to be there?
Right.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing, and that's what that's another mystery, because their body cams were not on. They have body cam footage, but it was on standby. So on standby, it still continues to record, but there's no audio.
Yeah.
So you don't know, you don't hear the conversation, so you don't know what their justification is for doing what they do. But here's the thing: the videos that have been released, they have videos, because it was 14 of them, so there's 4 different videos that's been released, and when they were bringing him into Marcy, they were taking him to the medical exam room. They were carrying him in. He was already bloody. So they were that, so that's the big question, was he chosen? He was serving a 12-year sentence. He wasn't going anywhere. And so my thing is that okay, whatever he's done, he's serving his time. He's been brought to justice. So you're going to hear a lot of people say, well, I think it was maybe some domestic battery where he tried to stab his ex-girlfriend X amount of times. All right, cool. So, you can say there's people that's going to say, well, he was nothing. He was nothing. He tried to kill a woman, so why should we care? Well, that's not the point. It's the principle of the matter to me. He went to court. He was found guilty and he was sentenced.
Yeah.
He was sentenced. So he's he's serving his time. So as an inmate, you still have rights as a human being. Just because he's an inmate doesn't give you just cause to be executioner, judge, jury, and executioner. And it's just ridiculous. And so the question that I ask, and why this is so close to me, is that the question that I ask, even after seeing this, is why? Why does he have to be the person to bring all of this to light? It seems like that when something like this happens, it's always somebody black that had to lose their life for change to happen when they know it's been going on. So, that's my biggest question. Why does it have to be, a black man?
Yeah.
For this to, it seems like, and I'm not saying
Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, like, why is it always?
Yeah, for it to be brought to the light that this type of brutality and
it's happening.
It's happening, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen to any other races. By no means am I saying that.
But it happens
because
more.
in prison, if they're doing it, I'm sure they've beaten down a Caucasian or a white dude or an Asian or someone of any color, But it seems like that. There's been complaints, but it always seems like that it gets brought to the light in action when a black person loses their life behind it, and so that kind of bothers me. But I'm just going to wait for this to play out. Now, what I have found out is that it was 14 staff members, and they have lost their jobs. They've all been terminated because, like I said, it was investigated only because of the murder. So they got a chance to see this audio. The governor, the attorney general, they're all disgraced by it. They have a union. The union reps, they're represented. They've seen the video and they were like, oh my gosh, they definitely don't represent what we stand for. So nobody is in agreement with this, but they haven't been brought up on charges. They haven't, and so this investigation is going to be done. So I'm going to go into a little bit about who they are. Okay. And this was obtained by CNN. So it says, they're not able to confirm the specific identities of the officers shown in the video or what role each named person is alleged to have had, because the thing is there's no audio. Yeah, so right. You don't know what they're saying and what, It says at least 3 of the officers involved in the Brooks beating were previously already accused of assault. And let's see, a review of court documents that was obtained by CNN. So this is legitimate.
Yeah,
they've got this information. They already up on charges. So one of them is named Sergeant Glenn, and Officer Anthony Farland were named in a complaint filed in federal court in 2022 based on the 2020 incident. So it took 2 years for that. So there's stuff going on. There's stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. That's different crazy. Officer, was named by the department, is also named in a separate federal complaint. And so, but it gets swept up under the rug.
Yeah, why are they even
it gets swept under the
out
rug.
there doing anything?
It's because they're inmates. Their lives don't matter. Yeah. Their lives don't matter. So,
but they do.
And I was looking at something on.
My father's in prison. I'd be damned if something like that happened to him. I'm fighting that.
Oh, they are. But what can you do when you're an inmate? Like I said, it can be, it's political because they can.
Y'all got cameras everywhere in there.
No,
you tell me that the cameras ain't working.
No, they don't.
You show me footage of some stuff a conversation happening and something going on. There's no audio, but clearly this man is dead.
Yeah,
and he's dead because y'all beat him. That means that all of y'all liable. So who did it? Who's gonna turn on who?
Right. And there's
But
some that are speaking now that they're fired because they were worried about retaliation.
Yeah.
But there's prisoners. One is his found out his arm was broken in 2 places over it, but he spoke out. But the superintendent of Marcy's prison, he just got relieved. They're bringing in someone else. The governor is. She's bringing in someone else to run it, and they're cleaning the house. And not only that, they're gonna release funds, to have cameras placed in there. And all of this because of a man's death. This should have been happening already. If they're saying that it's going on, why are there not cameras in there now? They didn't want to spend the money, but see, now there's going to be pushback.
Yeah.
Because now they're protesting out there. Because the question is, why are they not brought up on charges?
No.
I guess we're gonna find how it unfolds.
Yeah. Because if they're saying we don't,
us posted on this.
so I mean, even if they say we don't have enough information to charge them, yes, you do. A man is dead.
No.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough for them to have their day in court and plead guilty or not guilty.
No.
I mean, yes, you can. And the audio is there. So what do you wait? I mean, the video is there. What are you waiting on? So that's what it is now.
Yeah, keep us posted on it.
I will.
For sure.
So let me say this: it's a new year. So my thought of the week is, whatever it is that you want to be better about or not be better about and alleviate, don't give up. Don't give up. Rearrange some stuff, change some stuff. What you have to do, but believe in yourself and don't give up. I believe in leaning on God, but some people might not have that in them. But don't give up.
All right.
Because you got 12 months to get it right.
I'm your boy JaVie, here with my boys D-Lo
Yo.
and Cha-Cha.
What it is.
And we out.
Earth.
Peace.